Chocolate and Cheese Novelization, Series 3, Chapter 6. Long Story Long, read by Sam Garratt. The evening flowed in like a cool breeze as Sam and Lars settled in for the evening in their most favourite way, enjoying Jono and Ben at 10, eating chocolate and cheese at Sam's house. Far out, man, Guy Williams is the best, said Lars. I know, said Sam, before the pair heard a knock at the door. Oh, I'll get it, said Sam, getting up and walking towards the door. Alright, man, said Lars. It's always got to be when something good is on, groaned Sam. I know, right? Agreed Lars as Sam opened the front door. Much to Sam's surprise, Jack stood in front of him. Oh, Jack, said Sam. Hi, Sam, said Jack. Who is it? Asked Lars. It's Jack, said Sam. Do you want to invite him in? Asked Lars. Right, yes, of course. Do you want to come in, Jack? Asked Sam. Yes, please, said Jack, walking through the door. Hey, Jack, said Lars. Hey, Lars, said Jack. Can I get you anything, Jack? Water, juice, cheese and chocolate? Asked Sam. No, thanks, replied Jack, sitting down on Sam's couch and bursting into tears. Then maybe a tissue? Asked Sam. Oh, what's the matter, man? Said Lars, trying to comfort Jack. Oh, nothing. I'm fine, said Jack, wiping away his tears. Great. Shall we watch Jono and Ben now then? Asked Sam. Sam? Shouted Lars. What? I was only joking, said Sam. No, you're not okay, Jack. Do you want to talk about it? Asked Lars, continuing to comfort him. You don't want to hear my nonsense, said Jack. Yeah, man, we do, of course, said Lars. Actually, started Sam. Sam, one more word out of you, mister, and you'll be on the naughty spot, said Lars, pointing his index finger at Sam's face. Sam didn't need to be told twice, as he showed by making a zipping motion against his lips. Now tell us what's wrong, man, said Lars, sitting down before Jack, as Jack took a deep breath. Time seemed to stand still for the 10 minutes that followed that breath, which ended in further sobbing from Jack and boredom for Sam and Lars. And then she told me that it started good, and it didn't end good, and we said happy birthday, and then she dumped me, said Jack. Again? Asked Lars. Again! Exclaimed Jack, before breaking down once more into tears. That's terrible, man. I'm sorry, said Lars. I feel like we just watched an X Factor sob story, said Sam. Samuel, what did I tell you about making rude remarks? Asked Lars. To not to? Said Sam. Last warning, mister, warned Lars, as Jack blew his nose into a tissue. I think I'm fine now, said Jack. Which means you're not fine, argued Lars. No, I'm not fine, said Jack, falling backwards onto the couch in agonizing tears. Jack's crying continued for 20 solid minutes before he suddenly stopped, much to Sam and Lars' surprise. Then I pulled out my cheeseburger and my chocolate sundae, and it was chocolate and cheese, questioned Sam. It was chocolate and cheese, said Jack, before crying again. And so it reminded you of Molly, said Lars, yawning. So it reminded me of Molly, said Jack, holding back his constant tears and efforts to speak. At that moment, Lars collapsed on the couch, fast asleep. Thanks for listening, guys. I think I'm okay now, said Jack. It's all good, man, started Sam before yawning. We haven't got anything better to do anyway, right, Lars? He asked. Sam glanced over to the now asleep Lars. Lars! Shouted Sam. Sea Monkey has my money, muttered Lars in his sleep. Lars, wake up, dude, said Sam, poking Lars. Lars' eyes slowly opened as he sees Sam's face. Ah! Screamed Lars. Lars, calm down, said Sam calmly. Okay, I'm up, said Lars, waking up slowly. Alright, well, Jack, you should probably... started Sam before being cut off by a sudden flash of lightning from outside. Stay the night, he said. Really? Asked Jack. Yeah, I'll make up the spare bed, Sam said, standing and walking towards the spare bedroom. Oh, thanks, Sam. You're the best, said Jack. Thanks, Jack, shouted Sam from down the hallway. It was a mere 5 minutes later, and Jack, Lars, and Sam were already in bed. Night, Sam. Night, Jack, muttered Lars. Night, Lars, said Jack. Good night, said Sam, turning off the hallway light and falling asleep.